Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Hakwadash. The one the apostles, the great millstone, doing well. Peace, love, and blessings to the brothers on the highways and byways. Giving all diligence to make a call and lecture sure, and blessings to the very few sisters out there listening, learning, and believing. I'm that fellow Kanakla, coming at you once again with another lesson, Lord's will, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai's lessons, edifying, also exhorting. All right, and I'm just going to go through this World War III update, current events. As you can see here, posted from the India Times, why Trump really wants Venezuela, oil, rare earths, and conquest. All right, and with the largest, basically warship that the U.S. has, basically, entered into that area down in South America. Going to show you that, they're making preparations. All right, to start the war. And of course, the narrative is the whole war on drugs. All right, but as you can see here from this video, that the nakedness has been uncovered. Everyone is up to America, and these small hatters, as you can see here to the right, and everyone is up on game, man. All right, people know what's really going on and what's taking place. So I'm just gonna play this video, and you're gonna see the subtitles. I'm gonna interject, and of course we're gonna bring out some scriptures. All right, as Trump is obsessed with Venezuela, and for him and the reason. All right, a country buried under sanctions, strangled by inflation, and sitting atop the largest proven oil reserves on earth, and beneath it jungles lie lithium, gold. All right, it's like it. Bear with me because it moves kind of fast. Alright. And beneath its jungles lie lithium. Matter of fact, hold on one sec. Let's fix this. Slow it down just a tad bit. All right, here we go. So wait till the next slide here. That says beneath this jungle lie lithium, gold, and coltan minerals, all right, which are rare earth minerals, all right, precious metals, okay. It says that power smartphones, electric cars, and missile systems. All right, and if you are aware, basically, China, dominates that market for those precious metals. All right, and those, as it says, that's for smartphones, electric cars, and missile system, military equipment. So, as China and America being at odds, China holds a monopoly, all right, over America. They dominate those resources. Okay, so for Trump to basically take Venezuela, all right, that would basically get them off of the leash, so to say, with China. Okay, so hey, man, it'll be very critical and a vital move for them to be able to conquer Venezuela. See, for Donald Trump, it's the perfect target. A broken state, vilified leader, and buried fortune of untapped energy. His actions against Venezuela are not diplomacy. It's a campaign for resource imperialism. Exactly. America's next oil war hidden behind the language of liberation. That's, again, it's the same old song, man. Unclassified since September, U.S. warships have been hitting what Trump calls drug trafficking boats of Venezuela's coast. At least 17 strikes and over 70 deaths, yet no evidence that any vessel carried narcotics, because that's not what it's about. All right. Trump has already authorized CIA operations to destabilize Maduro's regime months earlier. All right, and that's exactly what happened. They sent an agent provocateurs in there. I remember that one documentary, one of the guys, that former CIA operative, he said they called jackals, basically to overthrow the government, to infiltrate it, all right? The Pentagon's already mapped military targets inside Venezuela territory. The buildup is unmistakable, all right? So there's no mistake. American troops are undergoing jungle warfare training in Panama for the first time in 26 years, all right? So we're definitely in a time of war, all right, as the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, okay? 10,000 U.S. troops are now deployed across Latin America. So that draft is definitely coming. It says 8 warships, F-35 fighter jets, and B-2 bombers are circling Venezuela waters. Officially, it's a counter-narcotics operation. You know, but unofficially, it's an invasion rehearsal. According to the New York Times, Maduro tried to stop what was coming. This is a key point right here. In October, he offered Trump everything. All right, so form of diplomacy, right? Full access for U.S. companies to Venezuelan oil and gold projects. Chevron expansion, and even the removal of Chinese and Russian energy partners. But Trump rejected the offer outright, serving diplomatic contact and ending negotiations. But why? Because contracts still leave Maduro in charge, right? Because those contracts can, you know, he can control them, he can end them at any time, you know. Trump doesn't want access. He wants ownership. All right? The goal is no longer reform, it's regime change. And Maduro must fall. Yeah, this is another key point right there. So, you know, if the America was to get hold of that, basically, you know, it could flood the market, and majority of Russia's economy depends on oil exports. Okay, majority. So it could really hurt the Russian economy. All right, so they flood the market, you know, that could hurt Russia. And then again, the rare earth minerals, the precious metals in Venezuela, it will basically allow the U.S. to basically receive power, so it's not so dependent on China no more. Okay. Yep. Beneath the orogenic arc lies one of the planet's richest deposits of rare earth elements, coltan and gold. Exactly. The minerals are critical for the U.S. defense industry, radar systems, precision missiles, jet engines. Control them and you weaken China's supply monopoly. All right, and I'm gonna end it there as far as this video for time's sake. All right, because I'm on a job here. I want to get these precepts out. All right, so it's Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right, so you see all these wars building up on all fronts. All right, and that's the vision, time of the end, World War III, as the scriptures say. Basically, that war will be fought with by the way of fire, all right, and not sticks and stones. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right, and that's why we live by faith, walk by faith, not by sight. Okay, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine. This is the point I want to get to. Talking about Esau, Edom. All right. He is a proud man and very proud. Okay. Neither keepeth at home. Again, now he is, trying to invade Venezuela. It says, who enlarges his desire as hell. And that's what he's going to bring. When he goes to overthrow that regime, all right, the people are going to suffer. They're not going to benefit from all those rare earth minerals, gold and oil. All right, it's going to put the people in a worse condition. Okay, that's just how it happens. Look, how he's doing America. All right, we're sending billions of dollars out to other countries. All right, billions of dollars of aid while you Americans are still hurting. Your inflation is up. All right, cost of living, your SNAP benefits, all your benefits, your Medicaid, all this shit's being cut. So you're not benefiting from, this system, okay? But you live here. But all your tax money is being sent out to other countries. Come on, man. So that's hell. It says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? Yeah, because, if Russia, China get involved, and other nations that have basically gave their allegiance to help Venezuela. You got Iran sending a bunch of drones. That was reported either this month or last month. Okay. It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that's debt, heavy debt. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake thee that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? All right. So these other nations are going to bite you, man. All right, they're going to rise up against you. Okay. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, and here's another nation they tend to spoil. All right. It says, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Okay. So let's get this precept here in Revelation 11 and 12. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come up, saying unto them, talking about the Israelites, the elect. All right. It says, come up hither, because you see all the news about the three-eyed Atlas, right? Saying there's radio waves being detected. All right. So a lot of news being popping up about that. And that's basically, the chariots of the Lord, those ships out there. So that's what's going to happen. Those ships are going to come in the midst of this third world war, and the elect are going to be beamed up. It says, come up hither. And they ascended up to the heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And that cloud, again, is the ship. It says, and the same hour there was a great earthquake. All right, because that's those missiles pelting on the planet Earth. All right. And a 10th part of the city fell, and that's America. All right, which is the FEMA regions has America set up into 10 parts, and 10 just is perfection. Okay, its entirety. It says, in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the God of heaven. All right, we're going to give glory to the Lord, those that be saved. All right, because the Lord redeemed us from that seventh trouble, that seventh plague. It says, and this is the point I want to get into, the second war is past, meaning the Second World War. All right. And behold, the third war cometh quickly, which was World War, where all these different nations are involved in war, man. All right. But the main war, of course, the Middle East, Yehoshaphat, the Levant. All right. Jehoshaphat, which is over in the Middle East. All right. But this is also another world war, because Russia and China, Iran, all right, they're all considered allies to Venezuela. All right, and I'll leave it there. All right, my timer just went off. All right, Lord willing, that was edifying. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Till next time, say shalom.